Hi and hello from beautiful northern Germany. Summer season is almost over and the new 2013 Gaastra kiteboarding products are out and hot off the shelf. For this year they have a new and redesigned Jekyll and the newly designed Hatch. And also there is another kit on the block for 2013, which is the Pure. We're going to make a tutorial about that one as soon as we can get our hands on one of those. So let's talk about the materials used in the new Gaastra line of kites first. For this year, as you might know, Gaastra has access to their own factory of sailcloths and fabrics, so they definitely use the best stuff that they can get their hands on. And it starts with the frame of the kite. The frame, which is basically the struts, the tube, the trailing edge, and also the tip areas are made of HPX Dacron, that's what it's called. And it's about much stronger than last year's, and it's even lighter. So you save a little bit of weight. Also the canopy material, which is the LTE Spinnaker, it is about 30% more tear-proof and is even a little bit lighter. So you gain on that in terms of quality. A big improvement is also the way they fabricate the leading edge. They use two different cords to set the seams, which is a poly cord and a nylon cord, and through a special stitching technology, it is possible to make the front tube about 50% stronger. So you really benefit from the bulletproof performance of that. That means also you can put more pressure into the front tube. Your whole tube and the struts will be more rigid. That again benefits to the wind range, to the steering characteristics and the flying characteristics of the kite. Also for this year, on all of the kites, the attachment points of the bridles on the front tubes are redesigned. They became a little smaller, they became more compact, but they became stronger. Also here they have a special triple zigzag technology. Everything gets glued first and then it gets sewn. Also the little rubber pads are new, so wear and tear is really reduced. And as a little gimmick they included a UTM coordinate on it, so you can find out where that is. Anyway, the struts also for this year on the Hatch and the Jekyll are segmented. Last year's struts were just curved and then sewn and glued together, and this year you have several segments, which contributes to the profile of the kite. So the profile is even much more defined on that one. Connection points are still the same bulletproof construction. You have your one pump, you have your intake and outtake valve on the kite, attachment point for your pump or a fifth line if you like, and you still have the benefit of the different tuning abilities or capabilities on your kites, as there are the different attachment points. We did another tutorial about that. You have a standard setting that you are welcome to use if you just want to take it out of the box, or you can tune it for faster turning and lower bar pressure, or slower turning and higher bar pressure. And also you have the ability or the possibility of tuning it for different wind conditions, which is, there's always a standard, which is correct and right out of the box, or for low wind you have an upper nut, and for higher wind conditions you have a lower nut to put your lines on. Not to forget, for this year all the stress points are covered with Kevlar patches, and they really go deep into the kite, so wherever you put your kite it's going to be nice and protected. So what's new on the Hatch 3 for next year? Basically it's a lot that they changed. Let's start with the leading edge. They redesigned the arc of the front tube of the leading edge, which contributes to a more harmonic flying and a better steering input on the kite. At the same time they also redesigned the trailing edge, which makes for a less drag in the whole kite profile, and also makes the kite more silent. According to latest information in aerodynamics, they also changed the settings of the bridles, which also again contributes to the harmonic flying characteristic and the steering input of the kite. And last but not least, a big change also with the tips. The tip areas got more boxy in design, and this is good for the steering in highly depowered conditions. So now if the kite is really depowered to the max, you'll still be able to safely steer it, and it will take your steering input, and that is really important for safety issues. The Hatch is still the perfect all-rounder in the Gaastra line. We did a tutorial about a comparison on the Jekyll and the Hatch, and you might want to refer to that one, so we can go right over to the Jekyll in terms of what is changed for 2013. So here we are at the Jekyll 6 2013. You can see the difference to the Hatch. Totally different design, different aspect ratio. In fact, for 2013 they changed the aspect ratio on the Jekyll slightly towards a little bit higher aspect ratio. The design features are a little bit on the same side as with the Hatch, meaning the trailing edge is also redesigned for less drag and a more silent flying kite. Also the bridle system has been changed with the same effects as on the Hatch, and the tip area was a big issue this year also. Tip area got more area, the tips are more straight down, and the diameter of the tip got bigger, and the effect of this is that you have a more harmonic flying and turning kite. You have a more precise input on your bar. In fact, it seems like the bar pressure got a little bit higher on the new Jekyll as it was on last year's. Other than that, flying characteristics are about the same as on last year's Jekyll. So this is a kite with a huge wind range. It has a lot of power. It likes to be moved a little bit more. It has really low bar pressure, and it is a perfect kite for waves also. For all the other comparisons, go to our last tutorial where we compared both kites to each other. So this concludes our short and little introduction of the 2013 Gaastra Jekyll and Hatch. I personally believe that this is going to be a bummer year for Gaastra in terms of quality materials, highly usable kites, and a lot of performance. Later on we're going to try to make a tutorial about the 16.5 Jekyll, which is the light wind kite, together with the 19-meter Jekyll in their range. And you're also in for a surprise with the 13-meter Hatch, which is not your ordinary Hatch, but it's also light wind oriented. And not to forget the Pure, which is in the house right now, but we couldn't get our hands on that one. But we try to keep you posted, and until then, we'll see you on the water.